Hello there and welcome back to another edition of Silly Car Showdown. Today, now we are taking a look at the Lotus Carlton. This car was requested by Portal Cat 42. And yes, I know technically it's a Vauxhall, but it's an actually good car, so I refuse to call it a Vauxhall. The Lotus Carlton is one of the most legendary sports saloons ever, if not the most legendary. This is essentially a standard Vauxhall Carlton that Lotus took one look at it and said, hey, let's stick 2 turbos on it and upgrade the suspension and then make it do 175 miles an hour. It was involved in loads of bank robberies. There's a cool story on Car Throttle's YouTube channel about the Lotus Carlton. Just Google this thing and you'll be fascinated to know stuff about this vehicle. Anyways, the Carlton, while I really like it, and I really like the stock engine, unfortunately the stock engine can't get all that much power, so we are going to have to throw it away. And we do have two options though. We have a 6.2 litre V8 and a 5.2 litre V10, and I think because it's the more interesting of the two, to me at least, we are going to go for that V10, and we will twin turbo it, just like the original Carlton. As usual, in line with most of the rules in this series, there is no drivetrain swaps allowed, and there's also no Forza Aero allowed, so unless we want to take the wing off the Carlton, which I don't particularly want to, the car has to remain as is stylistically. We are going to go for the race tyres, 255s on the front and 285s on the rear. Okay, not quite as big a tyres as I was expecting, in all honesty. I don't know why I always check this. I always see if the tracker actually gives you any extra tyre width. It never does, but, you know, it's worth checking, I guess. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see sort of what the Carlton does. I'm a little bit disappointed by those tyres. This may very well turn out to be one drifty car, but we will have to see. We will stick the suspension on it to stop the track out stuff looking ridiculous. It still does look a little bit too spaced out, but we shall ignore that. Roll cage, obviously, because this car is relatively old, and the weight reduction will dump out a bit of weight. Now, I'm curious to see what PI this actually ends up at. I'm imagining a low S2 class. Of course, as with most of the engine swaps in this game, there's not a huge amount of customizable parts, but what there is does add a fair bit of power, namely whatever you can do to the aspiration. And there's your power, your 232 horsepower you get from those twin turbos. Right, what are we doing? 1,212 horsepower, 831 foot-pound torque, 3,082 pounds weight. Actually, surprisingly light. That's about the same weight as the 959 from last time. 267 miles per hour top speed. The Carlton still holding its top speed crown on, even with a new engine by the looks of it. Yeah, that might be the quickest top speed I've ever seen in a car in this series. That is mega fast. But the question is, will it be mega fast around the corners as it is on the straights when it takes on our Edinburgh circuit? That does remain to be seen. Again, I'm not actually sure what this is going to do. I'm curious / scared for Carlton, but yeah, there's only one way to find out how it drives. Let's get to it. Okay, so here we are at our Edinburgh track once again to see how well the Lotus Carlton gets on. It may do 267 miles an hour according to the benchmark. The question is, can it drive well? I'm not sure. Anyways, our current leader is the Lamborghini Huracan V12 GT, which said Simon 135.743. The Carlton, very unlikely to beat that, especially considering I only just realised this car is S1 class actually, 888 PI. It also has the longest gearbox in the world. We've gone from the Porsche, which had an incredibly short gearbox, to this that will do 90 miles an hour in first gear, which is a little bit overkill, but, you know, it technically should make the car more drivable. The one issue with this, or the one issue with that, is this engine actually does have a hell of a lot of turbo lag because of the size of the turbos you put on it. So, yeah, that might cause an issue, but we shall see. Still, it's not too bad for now. I did actually drive this a little bit around while Azza was cooking. I don't know. The guy may as well be fucking Gordon Ramsay with the amount he cooks and then says, I'm sorry, I was cooking, instead of actually telling me he's cooking. But anyways, I love you really. The Carlton did not drive particularly well on the snowy road around the house I'm currently using for introductions. You might notice I actually changed the location we're at every now and again, just to shake things up, I guess, to make it look a little bit different. And the road's over there, of course, because currently the game's in its winter season. Although by the time you watch this, the game will probably be... when's this releasing? Sunday? So it'll be in the spring season. Ironically, I think the spring season was the last time we recorded Silly Car Showdown. But anyways... yeah, driving this up those roads, the car does not like it, but it actually seems okay with these. A 152.381 is actually really respectable. That's very odd. I was not expecting that good a lap time on that first lap, especially considering that first lap was quite messy. Yeah, the Carlton may be one of those sleeper cars which is a lot quicker than you give it credit for. Maybe it's because the gearbox is really long. But, you know, even actually watching the speedo, it's not massively quick in a straight line. It's not massively nice to drive either. I'm sort of being quite careful on the throttle, but it's not bad. It seems to have the sort of thing the Morris had, really, where it's sort of very quick up to a point and then it starts to drop off again. Like with the Morris, 140 miles an hour seems to be sort of what it does. Mind you, 150 down there. You might notice I don't think I've got out of 4th gear yet. I don't think... actually, maybe even 3rd gear. Yeah, the gear ratios on this are incredibly messed up. I would definitely like a shorter ratio gearbox. Yes, I could tune the car to do that, but again, as I've said before, tuning, unless the car desperately needs it, is out of the realm of possibility in this series. I forgot to brake at the end of that hill there. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't actually feel especially good to drive. It doesn't feel quick. It's just sort of doing relatively well. Again, I need to get a clean lap to really get an idea of what it does in total. But yeah, so far, so good in terms of lap times. I mean, 152.381 isn't that bad a lap time. It would put it on the lower end of the board, don't get me wrong, but I mean, this car is S1 class 888. It's not exactly a high PI car, so I forgot to mention anything to really target in terms of lap times. But to be honest with you, I just want, I don't know, like a 151 I think would be good for this car. I don't know what would want. The Traveller, there you go. 151.007, can the Carlton beat the Traveller? That is a very weird thing. Even like a stock, boring, normal Vauxhall Carlton could easily destroy a Morris Minor. But such is the world of Silly Car Showdown, where a Morris Minor has to, well, a Morris Minor has the betterment over a Lotus Carlton with a V10 twin turbocharged Lamborghini engine, no less. Or Audi engine, technically, but shut up. I think this one, I'm not actually sure if this is the game, I think it uses the version from the Huracan. So, and I think the Audi R8 is slightly less powerful than the Huracan IRL. I don't remember the way it works. I don't pay any attention to the Audi R8 because I don't like it. It's not very good through the switchblade section. The weight and the turning circle really catch up with this car through there, and the long gear ratios especially really do not make it particularly fun through there, because obviously you're dipping out the turbo's power band, and when you do that, this car becomes very lethargic. So yeah, gotta try and keep the pace going on there. Anyways, an actual clean lap gets us a 148.393. Okay, that's pretty respectable. I think that's about mid-leaderboard-ish. You'd think I'd know my leaderboard by now, but we sort of have the joke cars that do surprisingly well, and then the actually good cars. And the Carlton is sort of getting towards the actual good cars. I think that does make it quicker than the Gremlin V12, which is respectable. Yeah, but it's actually pretty good. Can't really complain. I don't know, it's a weird one. Again, it doesn't feel especially quick, and there are definite things I don't like about it. It's kind of understeery, you know, 255 tyres on the front, there's a lot to blame to that. The gearbox is very long, very woeful, and the rear end isn't massively planted. It does like to wiggle a bit, but I mean, I can get the power down just because the gear ratios being long are both a help and a hindrance. It's really not helping it through the slower speed sections, but in terms of getting the power down, it does make it a lot easier because the power builds up quite naturally, so the car doesn't really get a chance to break free. That was a lot better, but even there, you know, at 30 miles an hour, I'm out of the turbo boost, and I have to wait to get back on it. So, while it only takes a short while, it's something you can definitely notice is turbo lag in the Carlton. I think that was kind of an issue with the real-life Carlton as well, if my brain serves me correctly, which it usually doesn't. Anyways, a little bit of tempering, a 147.409. I mean, if this thing can get near the Fox box, that would be pretty impressive, considering the Fox box did pretty well. Fox box was actually pretty similar PI. Yeah, the series is throwing out loads of surprises. Maybe it's just because I'm getting more used to the track now. But we are definitely surging ahead of some of the earlier cars we had. That is for certain. My nose is also itching, which is not a particularly good thing to happen while driving this. And I can't pause the game or anything, so I just have to sit here and deal with it. That'll be my motivation for getting this lap over with quicker, unless I decide to sort that out quickly on the straights. Changed up a bit too quickly there, but such is the way of life occasionally. Yeah, trying to get it slowed way down into that section. It's not, again, as I said, it really is not a particularly nice car to drive. It's nothing spectacular, it's nothing good, but it's doing well in terms of lap time. I've got no issue with that. I just kind of expect... I don't know, the Carlton was a weird one anyway. I wasn't really sure what I was expecting from the Carlton, whether it would have been quick or not quick, but yeah, I mean, it's alright, it's fine enough. I guess I would drive other cars I've driven by choice. Definitely one of the sort of least interesting cars I've driven, I guess, just because it's just not really, it's not great, but it's not bad, it's kind of thingy. And a 147.409 will be as quick as it goes, but that's not bad at all. That actually puts it in to 10th place. Goes in between the Viper Box Mustang, which said a 146.408, so it's literally a second down on that. But it is 0.5 seconds quicker than the Limo. It's quicker than the Cayman GTS. It's a bit quicker than the AMC Gremlin V12. Yeah, I mean, it's a solid time from a car which I can't really sum up as anything other than I mean, that's my sort of review of the way this Carlton drives. It's just sort of, it's alright, but I mean, with some tuning, I definitely think this thing could be good. Especially if you could get the Forza front aero on this and the rear aero. Tune down these gear ratios a bit, you would have probably a really very good S1 class car. But in terms of the way it is now, there definitely is stuff I would change, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. The good old Lotus Carlton. It's certainly a very interesting car to take around here. We have not had a lot of four-door saloon cars. In fact, just looking up the board, I think this, oh, the Sentra. Yeah, one of our very first saloon cars we've had though. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching. As always, if you'd like to request cars for this series, you can do so in a couple of ways. One way is the comment section on my channel, one way is the comment section on HG Central when this video gets uploaded over there, and one way is in my Discord server. My links are in the description if you're watching this on HG Central, if you want to come and watch some subpar content and also see these videos a day or a couple of hours later, depending on which day we're talking about. You can pop right over there, but with that all being said and done, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, there we go, I'll actually click the recording window. Farewell.